Hello, I am Dr. Sunil Ishwar, Lead Consultant, Obstetrics Gynecology, Laparoscopic Surgeon, Robotic Surgeon at Aster RV Hospital, JP Nagar, Bangalore. I am going to discuss few points about tubal recanalization procedure. As we know that one of the methods of family planning is called as tubal sterilization, in which the tubes are disconnected from the uterus. So we do a procedure called as either a laparoscopic surgery or an open procedure where we disconnect the tube attachment from the uterus. In an unfortunate event where the couple may have lost their child, or where the lady has remarried and wants to have some more babies, we can do this procedure called as tubal recanalization, thus ensuring that they have a spontaneous natural conception. In tubal recanalization, we connect the tubes back to the uterus. This can be done both in an open technique, or what we call as laparotomy, or laparoscopically, which is called as a keyhole surgery, or through a robotic surgery. The success of tubal recanalization depends on certain factors. One of the major factors is how the previous surgery was done. If the tubal sterilization was done by a laparoscopic method, the chance of reconnecting the tubes to the uterus is almost 100%, with a success rate of around 80 to 90%, in sense that they can conceive spontaneously, naturally, without requiring any artificial techniques of reproduction. Which method to choose? As we know that laparoscopy is a keyhole surgery, less invasive, less blood loss, and very good success rate as compared to the open technique. Now we also do a procedure by robotic method. In robotic, we can ensure that even in a difficult situation, we are able to connect the tubes. The success rate is as good as the laparoscopy, but what advantage the robotic gives us is that even in a difficult situation where the suturing of this small minute tube is involved, is very meticulously done with a robotic technique. Other factor which is also very important for the success of this procedure is the length of the tube. The minimum length of the tube should at least be 6 to 7 centimeters with nice and intact fimbrial end. We have seen some patients who have undergone open tubectomy where the fimbrial end has been removed, or the large part of the tube has been removed. So the length of the tube can only be assessed either by a laparoscopy to see how much length of the tube is there, what's the size of the fimbria, or by opening and seeing what is the size of the remnant tubes. If the woman is more than 35 years and her ovarian reserve is less, then we still suggest them to try other methods of conception like IVF, because we know that with the age and with the less ovarian reserve, spontaneous conception is already difficult. With this procedure, we do not discourage them by telling that they cannot conceive with this procedure, but the chance of spontaneous conception being low in this patient, we would rather advise them to try IVF than a tubal recanalization. Which method to choose? We generally prefer laparoscopy or robotic techniques, because we know that if the size of the tubes are less, we can at least just do a diagnostic lap, avoid a major surgery, and discharge the patient home and ask them to try other techniques of reproduction. Yes, we also use robotic techniques in a situation where we feel that it is going to be difficult to suture the tubes in a very fine manner. Then yes, we do use robotic, which has given us excellent results. Please discuss with your gynecologist which is the best method to conceive, whether it's a tubal recanalization or a IVF technique. If the patient has a good ovarian reserve, young patient, we would still recommend them to try tubal recanalization for a successful, natural, normal conception. Thank you.